specifications, which includes a Snapdragon 730 processor, which is also one of the first phones to have it, right? So here's the spec sheet that I have opened. So you can see that it has 6 GB of RAM, up to 128 gigs of storage, and the Snapdragon 730 processor. The Snapdragon 730 processor was part of the new series that was announced by Qualcomm. It's a 700 series, which attempts to bridge the gap between mid-range and flagship processors and performance. Now, what this does offer is a few new features for Xiaomi. One of them is a triple camera setup on the back. You can see there's one camera here, one here, and another here. So the primary is a 48 megapixel sensor, of course, and then you have a 13 megapixel ultra wide lens and an 8 megapixel optical telephoto lens with 2x optical zoom, right? So these are most of the camera features. Now on the front, if you see, there is no notch, no front camera that's directly visible, and the screen stretches all the way to the edges. It's a 6.39 inch AMOLED display made by Samsung and is also HDR rated. Now I'm not sure whether that means Netflix will also work in HDR, but there is capability, and if Xiaomi chooses to, they can add support, right? Now you might be wondering where the front camera has gone. Well, that's the tricky part. This is where it is. It's housed in a mechanical pop-up sensor that lights up as it goes up and down. Now Xiaomi claims that it goes up in 0.8 seconds, but it does look quite slow, to be honest. I have seen faster mechanical pop-up modules in the OnePlus 7 Pro and the likes, which does rise up pretty quickly. In comparison to that, this one here doesn't really seem to be all that fast, but nevertheless it's there, and that allows the screen to go all the way to the edges, which is a good thing, makes the display immersive. And more than that, it does like grab your eyeballs when you're at a party. It becomes a cool party trick as well. Now here you have a 48 MP mode, the portrait mode, the night mode, and all. So these are all your standard features that you get in every other MIUI camera. You have the AI scene recognition, HDR, and the likes. So there are other features. If you go by here, there are a lot of settings options to play around with that you can keep having fun. Now let's try clicking a photo to see just how the camera performs. So I will be taking the photo of this plant that's here in normal mode, and again in 48 megapixel mode. Now from what I've been hearing, the sensor that's used on the Redmi K20 is made by Sony, but it's not the IMX 586, but another new sensor that Sony has made, which also has 48 megapixel camera. So looking at it, it does look very similar to the 586 sensor, considering it also gives you 48 megapixels of resolution, the ability to zoom in a lot more and get a lot more details. But like we have seen in other 48 MP cameras on the Xiaomi phones, the 12 MP mode that this one produces is much sharper. Even though you can't zoom in all that much, it does have a lot more details and sharpness. So yeah, for now